Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. It's the June 5th, 2019 edition of the Hump Day Happy Chat. Yay, 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 yay. It's an important day. It's a special day in the life of me, Valerie Renee Shepherd, coming to you live from the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self-Mastery on the UCI campus. Right now I'm at UCI getting ready for my first class of the day. And it's a big day. It's Wednesday, June 5th. And it's the anniversary of the brain hemorrhage, the stroke, catastrophic hemorrhagic stroke. How lovely are those words to hear? But it's the 4-year anniversary. So thank you for joining me today, especially. It's a I would call it emotional time, a good time. It's very interesting, especially when you talk about it from, or when I talk about it from the space of self-mastery, which is what we do here at the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self-Mastery. It's helping you master yourself in your life so that you can exquisitely manage, exquisitely experience, exquisitely grow from, exquisitely contribute, no matter what is going on in your life, everything that your life brings your way, to be equipped to handle it and not just survive it, but to thrive in the midst of it. To thrive in the midst of it. So that's what we're talking about. So today, pretty big day, an anniversary. So what do we do on anniversaries? It's like a remembrance of a situation that happened previous year or sometime in the past. And in the definition, it talks about commemoration or celebration of a special event. We recall and show respect for something that happened. And so this day is a big day in the life of me. Never thought I would see this day coming, and getting on the other side of it continues. It continues. It becomes an interesting thing to track and measure. So today's topic, what are you commemorating? What are you commemorating? And in the centerpiece of commemoration, as I've been thinking about this, the centerpiece of commemoration, there's this thing of measuring, right? Like tracking, measuring, keeping track of the time that's elapsed, or keeping track of what's happened since that day that we want to mark, keeping track of our relationship to the dynamics of what's been happening. And today is my first full day back from a trip I took this weekend. I went back to Washington, D.C. Metro, Virginia area where I'm from, to commemorate the living of one of my oldest and dearest friends. Shout out to Kathy Stevens Quinn, a college roommate of mine, dear friend, and her family and her children. Her children were there and her grandchildren were there. And I always say I knew her kids before they were born. I knew them when they were first conceived. That's how close we were. I was often one of the first few phone calls of, guess what, I'm pregnant. And I was home to share with this really special friend of mine the commemoration of her mother's life. And it was beautiful to be able to be a part of that and to give really unconditionally in love for something that I know is so special and also heart-wrenching and all those things. I'm blessed to still have my mother with me. And so being there for Kathy and her girls and her son, Ryan, was really important and special for me. And also to meet all the the amazing family members that I met who embraced me literally and figuratively, and just to commemorate all of the things that Marianne Stevens brought into the world. She was an artist, so she brought this magnificent creativity and wanted her girls, Kathy and Margaret, to see everything through the eyes of an artist. And we were even given instruction on that at the gravesite service around remembering to see the beauty in everything, remembering to see that. And, you know, my mission is also to help you remember to see it in yourselves, no matter what. And so this thing about commemorating, we're noticing. We spend a lot of time noticing and tracking Marianne's life and her impact and what she gave to us, and how we'll be forever changed because her magnificence was in the world contributing to it as Marianne. And so central to this idea of commemoration, the commemoration that I'm doing right this minute, is this noticing and measuring and tracking. And I feel like the last 4 years have been a journey of hyper noticing, hyper tracking, fatiguely kind of noticing, which I take responsibility for. And it's that journey of when something gets monumentally changed, and the inner journey of becoming comfortable, the accepting and the allowing and the receiving of the new normal, so to speak, I guess. If there is such a thing in any of our lives as normal, and if we should ever even quest for that, like, what is that? That'll be another happy chat. Too much for today. So I've been hyper noticing things, from everything from sensations in my body. And for the first couple years, it was like they may be a signal, a symptom of something else coming. You know, people often ask me, did I have any warning? And I would love to say that I did and I didn't notice. I don't know. And part of that's because of the stroke. I don't remember everything leading right up to it. I do remember some things. And there were sensations that I didn't understand. I had no idea I was having a brain hemorrhage. I had no idea that what was going on were symptoms of a blood vessel bursting in my head and my brain filling up with blood. Kind of gross to think about. So sensations, I've been hypersensitive, hyper noticing my abilities. I talk in my classes about identities, and I never really thought very much about my identity associated with ability status, what I could do with my physical body. But I was an NCAA athlete, NCAA Division I track and field athlete. So in fact, maybe I was really very much connected in the identity of what my physical body could do and the beauty of it. And when I ran around that track, what I felt when I was doing it, and that the magnificence that you can see in an athlete when they're doing their thing, when they're in their zone. And so that ability has way shifted over time. It wasn't just the stroke, but it's way shifted. And hyper noticing kind of what I can and can't do, left side versus right side, and how what I can't do, or what I'm unable to do at this time, and I want to say can't because it may not be forever, what I'm unable to do at this time, how that's impacting my left side, where my stamina is, like the hyper noticing all of the ability inside what it is that I'm trying to do. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you being here. Definitely noticing progress about the physical body and what it isn't doing yet, or what it can't do so well yet, what I used to be able to do. How do I, and the workarounds. Don't you love that? I love being a MacGyver in my life. Like, how am I MacGyvering my abilities so that what I am unable to do as well as I used to be able to do it isn't getting in the way of what I want to do, what I'm determined to do and be. The ripple effect into my mission, my purpose on the planet, how it's contributing, which I know it is. Of course, tracking the emotional states, the frustration, the anger, like, why is this still a part of my experience? 4 years, I've been an injured athlete before, so I'm used to marking the time from injury to recovery and celebrating that moment when the crutches go in the closet. You've done this, I'm sure. The celebration of the actual whoop, the switch gets flipped again. It gets back to the on status from being off or from being dimmed. Your light comes back completely. And so the morning, because I don't know when, if ever, I still say yet, the light's fully going to be turned back on with what this body can do and what I can do and be as a result of the abilities of the body. This extended mourning and grieving process, the fear, there's so an interesting relationship I've had over this 4 years of time with feeling my fear, which is powerful. It's really powerful to be connected to how one is actually experiencing oneself through an adventure called fear. Like, as I encounter things that my brain characterizes as stagnation, but then when I check in with my intuitive higher self, with that divine aspect of me, and I know, I think this is more like gestation. I believe and feel this is gestation. Although it's a very long gestation process, I will admit. The brain comes back in and goes, 4 years? And of course, the dance, right? The dance of that. Why is dance in the title of my book, Dancing Your Soul Lifestyle? Because that's what it is. I keep going when perhaps I could even do less. As Yeshua taught, you need do nothing. And yet I see myself going, doing, when actually this time may be calling me just to be more. Still, just be. And in all of that, there's also this unbelievable, overwhelming almost sense of joy and gratitude in everything, and especially in the dance. I actually feel overflowing senses of joy and gratitude in all of this. And then the peace, the inner peace in this whole melting pot. Sometimes I call it chaos. Chaos, it's just a melting pot of all kinds of stuff going in and out, going up and down. And I'm feeling called at this time to greater tenderness, compassion for me. And of course, that spills out for everything and everyone. I can feel it, even when I don't necessarily express it, or when others don't interpret, that's a new word, interpret my expression as compassion, tenderness. I'm feeling called to stillness. I don't often give myself the spaciousness to have that. And that's something that I'm committing to today. In fact, one of the first things I did this morning was cancel something later today to create more spaciousness in my schedule, because I'm a little tight. I've got a little too much going on. Which is my doing. And stepping back from that and saying it'll all be okay if I dump some things to create spaciousness. So today, with the topic of what are you commemorating? I'm commemorating me, the spiritual, human, integrated being that I am. I'm commemorating all that I am going through and seeing and feeling and owning the magnificence inside it, even when I'm like, what is going on and when is it going to be over? And I really deeply honor myself and call you into honoring yourself for whatever is showing up for you and whatever you're going through, whether it's the commemoration of the magnificent life of a loved one, like we did this past weekend for Marianne Stevens, or it's commemorating things that you're missing from the way your life used to be to the way it is now, or whether you're marking the time that still is happening where something has not been in your life that you've really wanted. So it's not this change up that you're commemorating. It's the, when is it going to happen? When is it going to be so? When is it going to be real for me? Part of my commemoration is coming up, June 13th to 16th. I really scheduled my This Is How You Soar, Creating Transcendence in Everyday Life retreat, my 2.5-day immersion into what I teach. This retreat is a part of my commemoration of this 4-year anniversary. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. There are going to be some special things that weekend that I'm still pulling together, some special people in attendance. It's going to be some deep individual and collective commemoration, honoring our journeys individually and celebrating where we are right now in the present moment, no matter what is going on. Like, how do we celebrate us and strengthen our ability to continue on as us, maybe a different version, preferably a lighter, leaner. I don't mean lean from a body mass index perspective. I mean lean from a what am I carrying around in my psyche, in my junk in the trunk. Lightening up and letting go. Commemorating us. We're going to laugh. We're probably going to cry a little, maybe a lot. Crying is a good, healthy release. We're going to drum. We're going to dance around the fire. We're going to talk to the birds and nature. And we'll definitely lighten up as we let go of what no longer serves us. We'll be doing our self-mastery dance in the redwoods of Northern California. Love to have you join us. Help me commemorate this time in my life. And so here's my call to action to you in honor of this time in my life. I'm going to call you into commemorating and celebrating, which starts with noticing, starts with coming awake in your life in the present moment, not for all those things you're planning to do and want to get done and have committed to, not for that stuff, but for where you are right this moment and how far you've already come, what you've already accomplished, what you've already done, what you've already contributed, who you're already being. That's worth celebrating, even though you may have miles to go before you sleep, according to you. According to you. Take time to notice, commemorate, and celebrate you every day. Something about you every day. Every day. Not on the years. Not when someone transitions off the planet. What can you commemorate about you with them, about you in your life today, right this minute? Stop and think. How can you honor you and what you're bringing into your life and into the world? And I will tell you, taking the time to do this in your own special way, whether it's with a lot of people or nobody at all but you, it feeds your gratitude for who you are, what you've done, what you contributed, where you are, why you're here. It feeds your gratitude. Taking time to notice feeds that sense of, oh, yes, thank you. Which, in turn, the ripple effect from gratitude is huge. It lifts your vibration. It feeds you, gives you a sense of a full cup. We walk around so often feeling like we're in a half empty cup or a totally empty cup. And sometimes we're the ones emptying the cup. Fill your own cup by commemorating you, by noticing you, and being grateful for you and where you are. It's a from you, to you, for you, by you experience, what your life is supposed to be about anyway. It's a part of raising your consciousness. And as I say in my book, that's the joy inside self-mastery. And it's the only true way I know of giving yourself lasting happiness in your life. So Hump Day Happy Chat, advice, commemoration, celebration are critical components of having more happiness, fulfillment, and success. So if you need help with any of this, just get in touch. Please PM me. I'm going to put the links to the upcoming This Is How You Soar retreat. Come and play. Come and play. Many blessings. Thank you for joining today's Hump Day Happy Chat. I'm going to go teach my class and then spend some time in grateful celebration of this anniversary. Bye now. Many blessings. Thanks for coming. See you soon. Soon will probably be next week. Next week's Hump Day Happy Chat. Bye.